stop listening to viral backpacking hacks. There are a lot of backpacking tips that you can find on the internet, and some of them suck, and some of them don't suck. And I'm going to give you 5 that do and 5 that don't. Hi, I'm Jabba, the real hiking Viking, triple crowner, yada yada. I've done them all, okay? So I'm the expert here.
How you feeling about this?
I drank whiskey this morning.
You're going to pay attention. Let's talk about some things that suck. Like, embrace the suck. This does not help the person who is feeling down, feeling mentally drained, feeling physically spent. Sometimes you gotta listen to your body and not just quote unquote embrace the suck. Sometimes you gotta embrace what your body's telling you. The machoism is too much. Let's get away from it. Look, there's been a time or two where I have quote unquote embraced the suck. And oftentimes that just leads to further injuring myself. I've gotten really bad tendonitis, I've gotten stress fractures. I mean, the list goes on. Every hiker who has pushed through serious pain will tell you that's a recipe for disaster. And you might be having to embrace going home early if that's the case. Now, for a piece of advice that doesn't suck, how about instead of embracing the suck, we tell ourselves to get comfortable being uncomfortable. Most discomfort passes, and your body is resilient, your mind is resilient, so maybe come at it from a different direction, like whether it's getting off trail or slowing down or telling the friend group that you're hiking with that maybe I shouldn't be hiking at the pace that y'all are because I'm just not capable of keeping up with that pace to keep my body healthy. So don't be a hero, listen to your body. All right, now for another piece of advice that does suck. Pack your fears. What does packing your fears look like? It looks like carrying too many electronics. It looks like carrying too much water. It looks like way too many clothes. It looks like carrying luxury items that you don't use daily. What you really need to do is to go out on a hike that's maybe a couple of days and really look at what you're using on a day-to-day basis. Because once you're out on trail, you're probably going to realize, oh, I don't need half of this stuff, and you're going to ship it home. So if you can mitigate how much you're bringing on trail, you can mitigate lots of disasters like pains, injuries, and getting off trail early due to those things. On my very first thru hike, I had a 65-liter pack that weighed probably over 55 pounds. And it wasn't until midway through my second thru hike, which was on the Continental Divide Trail, that I started realizing how much smarter it was to getting rid of half the stuff that I had in my pack. And that would probably be the first piece of advice I would tell myself if I could go back to the Appalachian Trail that very first time. Get rid of half of this crap. Stop packing your fears, and instead, here's a tip that doesn't suck. Learn first aid and self-rescue. So when packing a first aid kit, you don't need to pack a first aid kit that's good enough for like 10 people. I mean, you're talking about just yourself. Every hiker needs to be self-sufficient and take care of themselves. Okay, so whether it's Leuko tape or duct tape or athletic tape, some Neosporin, a bit of thread and needle, those things go a long way in the backcountry with taking care of yourself. Sometimes an ace bandage is helpful. You need to treat your sprains, you need to treat your small injuries, and what you really need to not be doing is relying on other hikers to help you out. So it's important to carry the skills and not just the gear, so you can be self-sufficient. And now for a tip that does suck. Don't look at elevation profiles. Who's doing that? It's important to know what your day is going to look like so you can properly plan it out. Going into a day blind is not helpful. All right, some people say ignorance is bliss. I say ignorance is ignorant. Knowledge helps you not only pace yourself, but manage your expectations. All that to say, proper planning prevents piss poor performance. And speaking of pissing, for a tip that doesn't suck, master your water strategy. Just like with knowing your elevation profile, it can be smart to know when to hydrate, how much to hydrate. If you have water on your climb, how much water you gotta bring for the climb, or if you can wait and not carry a bunch of weight up the climb so you can manage your water better. Being strategic about your water helps you carry minimal water at times, and knowing where water is at the end of your day can help you know if you have to camp with water or if you're gonna camp at water.
How's that feel?
Oh, pretty good actually. Being strategic about your water directly affects your comfort, and it's a skill you develop. So plan ahead, don't be ignorant, and your hike will be better for it. And now for a tip that does suck, take a zero every week. So what is a zero? A zero means hiking no miles in a day, taking a full day off, okay? And this is a rule of thumb for a lot of people just because it helps break up your week, but that doesn't necessarily take into account what the actual trail is doing and what your body's telling you. Taking a zero every week is not practical, and it does not account for any aspects of flexibility that you might have to take. You might have trail towns back to back, and you might have 4 trail towns in a week. You have to really strategically decide what makes sense for you, not just given what you want to do, but also what your body's telling you to do. If your body says, hey, I need another day to get my chores done. Hey, I need another day because the weather sucks. Hey, if the weather is going to be snowing on this mountaintop in 2 days, maybe I should wait and let that weather pass through, and then you're not as miserable when you're out on trail. Sometimes taking an unplanned zero can make all the difference in the world. So now for a piece of advice that doesn't suck, building in flexibility, as I was just saying. Don't overplan every single aspect of your hike. Hiking it should be flexible. You can't account for weather, you can't account for injuries, you can't account for side quests that might be really, really fun. Can't tell you how many times I came across spontaneous trail magic that wasn't part of my daily plan, but I stayed there anyways, and those are some of my most fun times on trail. The butterfly effect of being rigid has far-reaching consequences to the amount of fun you could possibly have in your hike. So make your own decisions in the moment and adapt or suffer. And now for the final piece of tips that suck, only eat ultralight foods. So what does only eating ultralight foods looks like? I mean, you start talking about, counting like grams and counting like calories per ounce and dehydrating your own meals. And I'm not saying you can't do that and have fun, but it's going to be very time intensive. It's going to take up a lot of your brain power to obsess over some of these statistics within your food. And largely, it doesn't even taste that good. The obsession with dehydrated meals and bars means you're eating expensive and joyless food on end for months, when the reality is, food is fuel and morale. Ultimately, the obsession with dehydrated meals, bars, it's like a joyless suck out of your life on trail, and ultimately I kind of just want to pack out a meatball sub when I'm leaving town. That's what I want. I don't want to eat a dehydrated this and a pemmican that. And now for your final tip that doesn't suck is instead to dial in your trail food before you start. So test your food at home and know what you can stomach day after day. Because if you don't like eating something at home, you are not going to enjoy eating it out on trail. Like for me, I'm done with Cliff Bars. Having food you genuinely enjoy makes all the difference in the world. Don't wait until day 30 to find out you can't stomach another protein bar. I've done the packing of resupply boxes that has all the nutritious food, it covers every food group, bars, meat, potato, whatever. And oftentimes by the 4th, 5th, 6th resupply box, I'm looking to swap or even just give away my food and go right to the grocery store for the things that I'm craving. Don't pack for the thru-hiker you think you're gonna be, just pack for the thru-hiker that you are. All right, thanks for sticking with me for the things that do suck and the things that don't suck when it comes to tips on the trail. What do you think? You agree? Disagree? You got some other ones that you like more than others? Let us know. And if you're through hiking this year and you want to blog for the trek, check the description down below and apply. And please make sure you like and subscribe to the trek. My name's Jabba, and I'm the Real Hiking Viking.